Are you a law-abiding citizen on the highways, but an unintentional outlaw out on the trails?
Here are some of the rules that, well, you might not have heard of. Some of them are bizarre, some of them are daft, and some of them you might think are just made up, but they're not.
Let's go. Here's a hard one to argue with straight off the bat. In the United States, it is illegal to ride a mountain bike in a designated wilderness area.
Yeah, the original 1964 Wilderness Act designated 54 wilderness areas on national forests and specifically directed the federal land agencies to administer these areas. So I've got to get this right. For the use and enjoyment of the American people in such manner as will leave them unimpaired for future use and enjoyment as wilderness.
Yeah, right, but that act basically excluded access to mechanical vehicles. And back then, mountain bikes hadn't even been invented. Okay, but even an amendment in 1984 meant that mountain bikes still did not gain access. So if you go out riding in the wilderness today, you could be in for a big surprise in the form of a hefty fine.
New Zealand's Department of Conservation mandates that you must have extremely clean bikes and gear before you go mountain biking. So tyres, shoes, all of that gear that's touched other trails.
Yeah, so expect long delays if you don't pass an inspection from the very, very strict biosecurity team. Sounds official, doesn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah. So expect lots of scrubbing and cleaning before you pack your bike in a bike bag. And yeah, tyres will be very well scrutinised because if they've got any kind of seed from a foreign plant.
Alien muck.
Alien muck, I think that's how they describe it. You might not get in.
Yeah, it feels like it's a really good opportunity to basically buy a new pair of boots for your bike when you're going. So rather than trying to clean all them tyres off and feel confident, get a new set of tyres, set of freshies for when you're riding in New Zealand or Oz, because similar rules, right?
Yeah, it is. They don't want to spread any alien muck around, so be careful.
Technical term.
This is true of many countries, but British Columbia is a location where it's certain that trails have dedicated directions.
Yes, absolutely. And this is for obvious reasons, because obviously a downhill trail is a one-way route only, and if an unwitting cross-country rider is climbing up their trail, you could have very unfortunate consequences, and vice versa, actually.
Yeah, you could have a...
So yeah. It makes sense, but I've actually experienced it in Canada myself. So yeah, it is true.
Oh, did you get fined?
No, just the person who was coming the other way hit my rather large random tandem and was nastily injured.
Orcs.
Catalonia's national park restricts mountain bike riding to certain days of the week to stop erosion of the trails. So it's actually quite a clever idea.
Yeah, it is quite a clever idea. I guess it's a way of restricting erosion to the trail, which I guess it's a common theme across the globe now.
Yes.
Is that when it comes to mountain bike regulations, there's always something to try and limit the erosion and how mountain bikes can damage the trails that we ride on.
Yeah, if you want to make less impact and you're worried about the erosion you make on the trails, then one thing to think about is like when there's been heavy rain, a big downpour can obviously have a negative effect on the trail itself, but if you go riding through it at the same time, then that can really smash it to bits. So maybe think about that.
We're halfway through a list.
Yeah.
Yep, so we're going to consider one rule that's hard to believe when you first hear it that is a rule, but once you've thought of it, it is a good one.
Yes.
Does that make sense? It does make a lot of sense once you've heard it.
Yeah, Australia is a very large country and it is illegal to ride your bike there without a bell on it.
Right, rings a bell.
Large country, right? It's very easy to get lost. So a bell would help you make a loud and repetitive sound that could make you easier to find.
Yeah, that's quite logical actually. I like that one. Out in Australia, it has got large bouncing rodents.
Yes.
I think they're marsupials. I mean, they're large bouncy animals. You don't want to crash into them.
Yes.
And other large animals that could be lurking unsuspecting around a corner.
Yes.
Some of them will move when you ring a bell. So I think it does make sense.
It does if
you've got
sense.
Blind crests or blind corners, you have got the danger of golden orb spiders being in the way and or snakes.
Would a bell help with a spider?
I don't know, when it's wrapped on your face you could ring it. That'd be good.
It's a bell ringing to let you know.
Well, you don't want to
been
shout
attacked
because
by
they
a
might
snake.
go in your mouth. They're huge, some of them. Just ask G about them.
And I've
He
just
loves
thought,
them.
snakes, they haven't got ears, have they?
But I think they can still hear.
Okay, now for some crazy rule headlines. Starting with, in Chile, it is illegal to ride on volcanoes in case of, well, eruption of volcanoes and the erosion of you.
Makes sense. I like that one. Yeah. In Colorado, frequent trail users are expected to give at least 1 day a year back to trail maintenance duty.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. In Sweden, it is illegal to ride on snow-covered trails to protect said trail. So no fat bikes in Sweden, I guess.
Other country where you can have fat bikes is Alaska, but riders cannot shout or yell at animals. This is to limit stress and disturbance on wildlife. So I guess our thoughts are that if you're going to spray bear spray, you just got to do it very quietly, not disturb the bears.
In the UK, it is illegal to give anyone else a backie on your bike. Shame. Unless the bike is absolutely specifically designed for more than one person.
And in many countries around the world, you can't buy a bike, mountain bike or other, without reflectors, which sort of makes sense really if you're going to ride at night.
But reflectors are well boring. Right, that is the crazy news headlines. Let's get back on with the list.
In certain regions of France, you can only mountain bike at certain times of the day.
Yes, unlike the Catalonia rule that we heard about earlier on that restricts days that you can ride on the trails, this hourly restriction is actually there to protect the wildlife. Here in the UK, it is illegal to build new trail features without the proper authority.
Actually, this is true in lots of countries, and when these features are discovered, well, they can just be knocked down.
Yeah, and it can be an absolute bummer. You know, built that perfect jump line, and then someone comes through and trashes it because it's not what they had originally planned. Or think about this, sometimes whole runs are just getting ploughed down by councils because the actual council level authority wasn't gained.
Yeah. So I guess that's that thing. If you want to build a trail, whether it be a jump line or just sweet single track, get in touch with local clubs and trail access groups. So all the trail stakeholders, I guess is the correct term, to confirm the changes that you're going to do and if those additional changes are allowed and if they've got the support of everybody there. Animal hanky-panky is very important for the development of species. And in Germany, that means that they're going to block mountain bike on certain trails at certain times of the year.
It does. This helps ensure that beastly wooing and foreplay remains uninterrupted by marauding cyclists, because they have never been regarded as an aphrodisiac to bunnies or otters.
Or hares, probably.
Or hares, bunnies.
Yeah, or they're different, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing, right?
No, they're different.
In South Africa, at Table Mountain National Park, it is strongly advised that you ride in groups of 3 or more. This is to protect the wildlife, but also to protect you riders from the wildlife.
Yeah, being South Africa, I suspect that it's more likely to protect the riders than the wildlife because there's some sort of bitey, larger animals that I think cyclists would be quite snackish.
Lions.
Maybe they should just do the bell thing from Australia. That strict rule, you've got to have a bell on your bike.
Yeah, that would work.
Does it work for hippos though? They can hear, can't they?
Everything there, aren't they?
They have, yeah. Lions, tigers.
Giraffes. I love giraffes.
Although that would be quite scary on a bike, a giraffe.
We've had giraffes in the bike vault.
Have we? Wow.
Yeah, honest to God. On a lighter note, in Japan it is strongly advised and encouraged that you ride the trails smiling, laughing and even singing because it helps promote a joyful and positive environment on the trail.
I think that's great. I really like that. And on a related rule, in Cyprus, it's actively frowned upon.
Oh no.
Yeah, if you riders singing whilst riding, it's seen as a distraction, so it's sort of banned.
God damn you, Cyprus.
Yeah, no, disappointing. Where's the joy in that?
No. Well, there you go. Fun list of rules. Have you got any rules that you know about that we could be breaking? If you have, let us know in the comments down below.